too inexperienced, couldn't handle success. Everybody was saying all those things about our team. Now people are saying something different. But my question is what's different? Nothing. We're still young. We're still inexperienced. We still got things to work on. So it's going to be all about the maturity that the team has to be able to focus on what they need to do to correct the deficits that we have, you know, whether it's individually, collectively, as a unit, in some part of our team, so that we improve as a team. And that's going to be important to how well we do. So it's all about the progress that you make through the season. And there's plenty of room for us to make progress. Successful teams are willing to do sometimes what unsuccessful teams aren't. And I think that's what we need to prove that, you know, we're all ready to do in terms of how we go about each week, each game that we play, each new challenge that we have. And I think that will be the most important thing with, you know, this team and how we develop. Western Kentucky is probably, you know, I know that you all don't think they're probably very good, but they've won 8 out of their last 9 games, and they're probably one of the better teams, you know, that at least in the Sun Belt, you know, for this year, maybe the Sun Belt champs eventually. They've got like 18 or 19 starters coming back from last year's team that won, you know, 7 out of the last 8 games after going on 4. Willie Taggart has done a really good job there in the 3 seasons that he's been there, and they do a great job in terms of they put a lot of pressure on you from their defense, you know, really pressures the offense a lot. Offensively, the guys from Stanford, you know, they do a lot of formations, a lot of shifts, lots of motions, lots of things to try to outflank you in a lot of different ways. So this is a very challenging game for us, and we're certainly looking forward to the challenges that we have. You know, they have a very good quarterback as well, who's been a 3 or 4 year starter for them, and very athletic, can scramble and run and make plays. And anytime you give up a 72-yard bomb and a 44-yard bomb, you know, those are problems. They were both double moves, you know, which take a long time to develop. So, you know, we were in the middle of the field coverage, you know, when they happened. So they happened, both corners gave one up. Something that we worked on going into the game, something that they had success doing in the past, and we need to do better. But we also need to rush better, because it takes a long time for those plays to develop, so that hopefully, you know, once we were in a 4-man rush, the other time we were in a pressure, and we didn't, you know, execute the pressure properly. If we would have, they probably wouldn't have had time to throw it. So both of them are team defense things. They're not one person that's responsible. You know, just trying to get somebody to play us. And we need a couple games next year, so. Look, it's difficult, because if you're not willing to go home and home with somebody, which, you know, if you're playing a neutral site game, you don't want to go home and home in another game. So you got to get teams that will come here and play. You know, and what's been very, very difficult for the next few years is, you know, the SEC's got to tell us who we're going to play and when, before we can go schedule other games. So we're working through that right now. But, you know, I like to play teams that are not going to be so different that you aren't improving your team against what they're going to face from other teams that you play in your conference. If that makes any sense. All right, so like playing Georgia Southern last year. All right, that was a good experience for us. We may have to play that offense sometime, but throwing that right in the middle of the season, being so different, you know, that doesn't necessarily, and they did a great job, and I have a lot of respect for them and what they do, and it's a great offense. But you're preparing your team for something that's totally foreign to what they're going to see any other time that they play. So, I mean, we'd like to play against teams that have some carryover in what we're going to do down the road versus someone else. You know, they obviously need to do better, get a hat on a hat. It's probably a good experience for them to, you know, get out there and get some of the jitters out and gain that experience and be able to learn from what they did or didn't do. But we wish they thought they would have an opportunity to play a little bit more. But same thing on defense. You know, we thought those guys would have an opportunity to play a little bit more. We intercepted the first. I mean, we got to play a lot of players, but when we really put all the twos in, we intercepted the first pass that they threw. So I was hoping that those guys would get to play 3 or 4, 5 plays apiece as well. But got to play a lot of players, and I think that was a good thing, especially as young as we are. And hopefully we'll be able to build on that.
It sounds presumptive to ask, but right along those lines, is there a plan this week to maybe get Philip some more snaps or to get some
It is presumptive, you know, and it's typical that what you all would think and what our fans would think, that because these guys play in the Sun Belt, they're not very good. It's really is presumptive. And so presumptive, I'm not even going to answer it.